Ghislaine Maxwell had an office under the stairs next to the kitchen. They used to download pictures like this, just like that.
What kind of pictures?
Naked girls from Sweden, from Romania, from Czechoslovakia, from Brazil, from Colombia.
All minors? All young girls?
Very young, very young.
Like when you say very young, how young are we talking?
16, 17. They're teenagers. They have braces, most of them.
Younger than that, though?
Yeah.
Braces. It's terrifying, and it gets even worse. This latest release serving as vindication, though, for the President of the United States. Before we get into those details, one little nugget here. An old FBI file indicating Trump called the Palm Beach Police Department 20 years ago to say that he had thrown Epstein out of his club. Trump called the Palm Beach police to tell him, thank goodness you're stopping him. Everyone has known he's been doing this. Trump told him people in New York knew that Epstein was disgusting. That's to the chief of police of the Palm Beach Police Department. That's an FBI file that's just been in this latest round of millions of files released. Trump said Ghislaine Maxwell was Epstein's operative. She is evil, and to focus on her. Trump told him that he was around Epstein once when teenagers were present, and Trump got the hell out of there, as a quotation. Trump was one of the very first people to call when people found out that they were investigating Epstein. Remember, this is before Epstein was even criminally convicted. After all the outrageous things that they have screamed about the president, for the past 2 days, Democrats have had full unredacted access to what's been released, and you notice that those screams are not very loud right now. You notice that Democrats aren't really saying much of anything after 48 hours of having access to these completely unredacted files. Congresswoman Lauren Boebert joins us now. She spent today poring over millions of unredacted Epstein files. And Congresswoman, it's good to see you. Let's start with what you found. What did you see?
Yes, well, this was certainly a difficult day. I was only there for a short time yesterday reviewing the unredacted documents and spent several hours today reviewing many, many more. And there's still so much more that I would like to find. But this seems that it wasn't only the trafficking of young girls, as the narrative suggests, but there are code words that suggest Jeffrey Epstein and his associates could maybe even be engaging in some sort of consumption. Is that human consumption? Are there code words? There's a lot of talk of beef jerky. There's a restaurant called The Cannibal where the owner is listed in some of these documents. Now, that isn't a restaurant that is just proclaiming to serve human meat by any means. But some of this just, it seems that there's a lot of conspiracies that make you wonder. And I saw more emails about torture, and these coded conversations still have a very clear topic that torture was big. It was a big driver for them. And these were sick people doing very, very sick things. As you mentioned, there are many women who are involved in this. You have folks that were working directly for Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. Right. And a lot of these women are the ones that are sending emails saying, here's one 10 years old, 11 years old, 9 years old. And it's just very disturbing to see the women who are involved in this as well.
I want to get to the torture. If we can skip ahead to take 7 here, guys. This is an email reportedly from Epstein to the Saudi Sultan Ahmed bin Sulayem, who's one of 6 names that's been revealed that were unredacted after pressure to the DOJ. It says, where are you? This is from Epstein to this Saudi Sultan. Where are you? Are you okay? I loved the torture video. That Sultan was a name that was redacted in here and then unredacted. Can you elaborate more on what you're seeing regarding torture?
Well, unfortunately, and maybe fortunate, so it's not scarred into my being, a lot of these unredacted files that we are able to view have missing items and are still further redacted. Some of them we've been able to unredact to a larger extent, but a lot of the images aren't there where they say they are, where a JPEG link is present. There's not a way to actually view that, and we're being told by the DOJ that it just doesn't exist, even though the link is there. And, there's a line here, I think, between victim and perpetrator that is very, very thin. And there's a lot of heat on the DOJ right now, and I get that. But I can also see from reading these emails that some of the individuals claiming to be victims could have also been groomers themselves.
Well,
and with missing information, it's hard to tell exactly what is being discussed.
Yeah, that was the what's been alleged this week is that there's women redacted from the file simply because they're women, and just the appearance that they were victimized, even though they might have been like pimps, like female pimps that were moving these women to Epstein, which is a frustration that we're seeing. Here's one more. Let's just show you this. This is to and from, both redacted on this one. To and from are both redacted on this one. I want to go to take 6 if we can. Did you know somewhere in the hills outside the Zorro, 2 foreign girls were buried on orders of Jeffrey and Madam G? Both died by strangulation during rough fetish sex. I mean, after what you've seen today, does an email like that seem authentic and realistic to you, that something like that could have happened?
Yeah, so we are seeing these names unredacted, and some of the names, even though they're claiming to be victims, the DOJ is claiming they are victims, have had public stories about them and their encounters with Epstein and even Ghislaine Maxwell. And so, I do see a pattern with a lot of these females who were associates, lieutenants, second in command, executive assistants to these two horrible human beings, these horrible pedophiles, creeps. And there is a pattern, and it's hard to believe that they can claim to be a victim when they are continuing to invite people to these things and have conversations like that, especially when bodies have been buried. And we all want justice and accountability, and I just think some accountability still needs to be had for these lieutenants.
Right. The Deputy Attorney General says that he doesn't believe that any more charges will come from all of this. And you're saying that there's still deeper redactions and things that you can't see. Why is this happening? My final question to you. Why is this so difficult?
I wish it were not this difficult. From the beginning, the rollout of this has been an embarrassment, and that's why I forced the release of these files. But I do believe that we can still get justice and accountability on some of these names. Even a federal judge said regarding one of the women who is redacted over and over in these emails, she pled immunity. She received immunity in one case, but later a federal judge said that he believes the same woman knowingly was engaged in these criminal activities. And so I do think that there are some instances where maybe the statute of limitations has not yet been met, and there could still be further prosecutions. And I think it's time to stop sweeping this under the rug. The American people demand accountability. Congress is demanding accountability, and we have got to uncover this further. These are sick, demonic Satanists who have been running too much of our country and harming too many children for far too long.
Yeah, I just, again, during the transition, they made all of these promises. They talked so big. What the hell happened? And I can't get a straight answer on that from anybody. Nobody knows, or they won't say. It's just surreal how this has turned into such a liability. Congresswoman, thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Thanks so much.
Everybody's reporting the same stories, the same spin. You turn the channel, it's always the same. But not us. We're different. We report the real news. No spin, just the facts. Turn to us, and you won't turn back.
Tune in to Rob Schmitt Tonight on Newsmax.